What's good? It's Joy Revolution Podcast. I'm Mark Cordone, and I help creative strategists when it comes to podcasting, TEDx talks, as well as when it comes to personal healing and changing the world in a big way. And so with that said, I am so excited to have our guest on my show today. So it's my deep honor to welcome this person, a devoted mother, compassionate advocate, and the founder of the Louise Justin Foundation. I've got more here because I really want to cover all the bases. Her mission is to support Spanish-speaking families who have lost loved ones to homicide, offer healing, connection, and hope when it's needed the most. And through monthly Zoom call sessions and in-person events, her work is a living legacy to her son, Louise Justin. Veronica, thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm so excited to be here. And I done this in Spanish and I haven't done this in English, so I'm like a little bit excited to
Good.
be out there in English.
Good. Well, it's good to have you on the show. I just want to get right into it. There could be a lot of things, especially with this interview, that could get depressed or sad or numbing. So I want to start with this. Like, what is lighting your heart up right now? Or hope? What is your hope for right now?
I guess my children, my grandsons, it just that's very emotional for me, that question, but yeah.
We're going to start crying the
Forward to
first
see
question.
right away. Yeah, looking forward to spend time with them. Yeah, and making a difference with people, families that I haven't even met, I'm excited for that.
Oh, completely. Was family a strong value with you growing up? And I mean, what was your situation growing up? Was it a huge family? Was it a small family? Super Catholic?
Yes, it was a big
All of the
family.
above. Okay. Yeah.
Filipino and Spanish family.
That's what's good. That's
Mexican
what's good.
family.
I know.
Yeah,
We
we're a
might,
big family.
we
Yes,
might be cousins and we don't even know it because our families are
right?
so big. Right, Vero?
Yes. So we are 8 brothers and sisters,
Yeah.
and we live with my grandma and my aunt and immediate extended families. Being around them, my grandma especially, is like you had to pray every day.
Yeah.
The rosary and all those things. So I think even though we didn't go to church every Sunday, but she was very strong on her. We were brought up Catholics.
Oh,
Yes,
you were brought up Catholic. Did you
Catholic.
also get when you were bad, did you get the belt or the slipper? For us, it's chinelas.
Yeah, like chancla.
Chicletas. Yes. For me, it was, I had to choose between the belt or the slipper because I was
Yes.
in trouble a lot growing up.
Yeah, I imagine. Me too. I was kind of like a tomboy too. Like I liked just running around, being on the bike, more like being out with the boys, playing marbles.
Oh,
And
that's
yeah,
what's
you get
good.
in trouble doing those things too.
So you were a spicy firecracker too when you were
Yeah,
growing up, right?
yes.
Okay.
And I was
No, I got
good
it.
playing the marbles with the boys.
I got it. Yeah, I got it. So my dad's family has multiple siblings with his side, and my sister's got multiple siblings with her side. And so when we were growing up here in Florida, they were born in the Philippines, but in growing up in Florida, we're all around each other. And so we've got this idea of strong family. It's almost like we're brothers and sisters, right? And then I don't know about you, but like then there would be like these folks that I always thought they were my real aunts and uncles and people who were like I thought were my cousins, and they weren't. They were just friends of the family. Did you get something similar like that? Like I had no idea for a while who my real cousins were, which one
Yes.
wasn't, because I
In,
called
in in
everyone.
Mexico, you grew up, with the community, and everyone calls you tío or tía,
Yeah,
aunt or auntie, and like
completely.
they're not really your family.
I know. It doesn't really matter at that point when we got older. So you're born in Mexico. When did you come to the United States?
I came when I was 20 years. Yeah. So
Yo,
yes, and I'm talking about late 80s.
Okay, were you super excited to immigrate into the United States? Like, did you not want to leave Mexico? Like, what was the situation there?
Yeah, like I just completed my high school, and it was like in between. Like I was excited to come to the United States, but I wasn't excited because I was leaving behind family and friends, especially, your friends when you're in high school.
Yeah, I totally get it.
Yes, so it was like in between. Like some days I'll be so excited because we're going to Disneyland. That was the promise. And then it's like, I don't know if I'm just gonna leave my friends to go, to
Oh,
California.
completely.
Yes.
Had you been in the United States before when
No,
like
that was my very first time. Actually, that's a great question. Like that was even the first time I even left like my town, outside my
yo,
town. Yeah, like we travel around the
yeah.
town, but like totally just completely left my home, but left my country
Oh,
too.
completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we called it the barrio. The barrio
Yes,
is where we grew up,
yes, totally.
right? Okay.
So it
Was
was
the
a big shock. That was
It
a
was.
big change, and it's a very shocking situation.
Sure.
A big change. Yeah.
So was your son Luis already born? Like how many kids did you have? Did he come over with you? What's the dealio
No,
on that,
no.
Vero?
Actually, I have four sons,
Okay.
and all were born here in the United States.
Oh, so they're Americano.
They are.
Straight up.
They are. They're pochos.
Okay, okay. So tell me about your sons.
My oldest son lives in Chicago now. Then my second son was Louis, and then I had two other.
Got it. Got it. Had they ever gone back to Mexico with you?
Only my old. Actually, yes, yes. My Louis went back to me when my grandma passed away, and
Okay.
my oldest son we went like at least three times when he
Got it.
was I don't know 3 years old.
Got it. Got it. So did you give them all the belt or the slippers?
Over there, no.
No.
But they got it here. They got it here.
I love it.
Yes,
I absolutely
they
love
know.
it. All right. So let's go talk about September the 25th of 2017, right?
Yes. Yes.
I can't imagine being more shocked, but I want to hear from you. Like what was, the situation? What happened when you
Yes.
heard about it?
So we live in Orange County here in
Okay.
California. Yeah,
Sure.
and I was in LA when I heard the news, right? And it was something like you need to come because, Louis got run over at the park. And so, I felt that I got here very, very, very fast, given all the traffic.
Yeah.
But I was just, expecting to arrive to the hospital and, see what's going on with my son. But when I got there, at that time I work at hospitals too in the emergency room. So I kind of know the flow when something
Yeah.
happens and it's, I want to say like a tragic situation or something. So when I arrived there, like I was surprised none of my family had arrived. So I was the first to arrive and I
Okay.
asked for him and they said, oh, okay, we're going to put you in a separate room. So I know, given that I work at the hospital, I know what that means. That means
Oh,
it's
my
a bad
God.
situation. So I
Okay.
knew something wasn't right. So I was moved to a separate room from everyone else, and then eventually my family started arriving. My ex-husband and extended family. So some of them were able to come in the room, but not everyone. It's
Okay.
just like, mostly immediate family. Eventually, the doctor comes out and just tells you. Because we didn't know what happened. We really didn't know. When my sister and my ex-husband got to the park, the police just was taking information about my son and about them, but they didn't tell them what was going on. They just
Okay.
told them, ambulance is taking him to the hospital and you cannot see him. That was it.
Okay.
So we didn't know what happened exactly. And so
When you were, from your experience as someone who worked in the ER and knowing that it was a different situation, was there still part of you that was just like, yeah, I think he's still alive. This is probably
Yes.
a misunderstanding.
As much as I wanted to, I knew something was really wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, because they separated totally from the general public, put
Okay.
you in a room. And I knew that from my experience of working at hospitals, I knew something was very wrong.
Okay.
So when finally the doctor comes and, tells me, sorry, we did everything we could, but he didn't make it. So it was just a shock because at that moment it was just like, I just want to see him. All I
Yeah.
could think is I want to see my son. But since the nature of what happened, it needed to be an investigation, we couldn't see him anymore. Yeah. So, yes, that's how we received the bad news, Then I had to go past the bad news to his girlfriend at the time, and
Yeah.
my ex-husband and everyone else. So it was like a very
Oh my gosh. So
Yes.
you literally were a person that was taking that heaviness and
Yes.
delivering it to each of the family members
Yes.
and his girlfriend.
Uh-huh. And she's the one that took it really. I felt that I was like numb at the time because
Yeah.
I had to pass that information and keep myself calm when I pass that information to everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that something that growing up you were that responsible one who had to
Yes.
take you
I'm the oldest one, so I was like always reminded that you had to stay calm
Yeah.
because you're being at one point in charge of everyone else, all you
Yeah.
brothers and sisters. So I think, yeah, good thing that you asked me. I never pay attention to that, but I think that's what happened.
That's why this is the best podcast on the internet right now. No, no. I mean, I think number one, as a parent, you never expect to
Never.
bury a child.
Yes, totally.
And then being the one who delivers the news of you living your child to your family, to your ex-husband, to his girlfriend. I mean, I want to acknowledge you, number one, for having the wherewithal to be able to hold it together enough to deliver the
Yes.
news to every person. And I mean, this probably was something in which people are collapsing over, and it's just okay. That's a Filipino thing, but like, it's a very dramatic scene where
It
I
is
grew
a
up when
very
we lose
dramatic
somebody.
situation. Yes.
Yeah,
And I think that one of the things that in those situations, if something to hold you together or in calm, remain calm, to me, it was just that the training that we received in Landmark. That was one of the fundamental pillars. And I could talk about all the things that I have seen, when I look back, what kept me strong.
I love it.
But I think
And since you brought it up, Vero, we met through Landmark, which is
yes,
one of the most premier self-development and professional development training
yes.
programs out there, right? And so I'm curious, what were some of the things that you got from Landmark? And by the way, this is not a sponsor, even though they will be one day. But like, what are some of the things that you got from Landmark that allowed you to go through, I don't know, like one of the most horrific points in your life and in your family's life?
The friends that have developed in this community of Landmark, like you, through the trainings, you get to build friendships, like really long lasting friendships.
Yeah.
You're not gonna let me lie on that. So I had attended what we used to call ILP, and I have some friends from that.
Yeah.
And
And ILP stands for what is it? Something leaders program.
leadership program, yeah.
Something leadership. Introduction to
program.
leadership. Okay, there you go.
So because after that, through the process, there were days that I just lost it too, and
Yeah.
when I was lost in my grief and I just felt that I couldn't move forward
Yeah.
in some of the days because it's a tough situation, and I felt that things were getting worse and worse, even when I call my sister or I call my friend, and something in my on my brain or wherever you want to hear, I heard a voice saying, "You're sharing with the grown people."
Yeah, okay. You're sharing with the wrong
With the
people.
grown people, yeah, you talk or something like you're talking to the wrong people because my situation, I just felt that was getting worse.
Okay. Is this like a voice of a spirit or a
I
voice of
guess
God?
I don't know, but
I don't know. Was
Yes.
it Our Lady of Guadalupe? Like what are we doing? What are we
it
talking
was
here?
that voice, that
It
we
was.
talk about a lot more. Yeah, because I started getting panic attacks after he passed away. I started getting panic
It makes sense.
attacks.
Completely.
I couldn't even go out, and when I was trying to find someone to talk to, my situation, I felt it got worse. So when I heard that, I reached to someone from Landmark, which
Okay.
was a friend from that program that we mentioned.
ILP. Okay.
Yes. And she coached me through the situation. And it's just magic because within an hour that we had a conversation and she coached me, to bring me down to my senses, my panic attacks start diminishing.
Going away.
Yeah. And
Going away.
I couldn't even go out of my house. I started being able to go out of my house to
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
be able to continue moving forward. Yes.
Yeah. Was the park in which something went down, like was that something that you couldn't even walk by at some points?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Like on the first, when this first happened, I went to see the site, and it was just, to me, it was very dramatic because where they pick them up, I could still see where the tires of the car
Oh
were,
my God.
and there was still blood on the floors.
Oh my
It was
God.
just so dramatic, and so many emotions, like why they didn't even clean, like how can they just grab someone and don't be mindful to clean, you know?
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
so a lot of things. And the first couple of times there was a lady from the news that wanted to have an interview, but at that time I just didn't feel that
Yeah.
I wanted to speak to anyone. So
Sure.
yeah,
Got it.
didn't have that interview. But after that period, I want to say like a week after, I just couldn't even drive by that
Oh,
place.
I bet.
Yeah,
I bet.
yeah.
You
It
know,
took
and
me a couple of years being able to pass by. Yeah,
do you
again.
still live close to the neighborhood still?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And you can
And
do it now. You can.
yes, I can do. Like it's been
Okay.
a couple of years now that I'm able to go there. And a couple years back, we had a celebration during pandemic. We had a celebration, and one of my sons arranged for the people of the land, like indigenous people, came and had in that park, had came and did a ceremony and did a blessing of the park.
Oh, I love it.
So I think that was a very the point where I was again able to come to the park.
Sure, sure. And I'm even hearing in the way that you're explaining this, like sort of the stages of grief, where there's that beginning piece. I'm hearing you getting, very quickly being angry, and then coming to a certain amount of, I don't want to call it completion or closure because I don't know if you'll ever have closure unless you want to tell me that you had completion with it. But, I just, Vero, okay, how about this? From the standpoint of where you were to creating what it is that you just created in the foundation, how did you go from one and then transition to the other?
Again, I think it was just so important having the landmark education because I had this sense of in my mind that kind of like took it, this is a breakdown. How
Yeah.
can I pass
Yeah.
that breakdown? Even though I didn't come back to landmark, I was still in touch with people from landmark. But I was
Sure.
able to recognize first what's happening. So I
Yeah.
started searching
Sure.
on my own. Then, okay, I'm in the grief process. I cannot take long to be on this grief process because there's my son left 3 children. So, I need to be able to somehow help these children or care for these children. So I just felt that I couldn't take long in the grieving process. So I started searching for things, spiritually, friends,
Yeah.
community, you name it. That if someone told me do this or do that, I done it, and then come to the realization, okay, I don't want this to be in vain. I want this
Mm,
to, like all this suffering that we have gone through,
yeah.
and other families gone through. How can we turn it to be a positive
Okay.
outcome?
Okay. Okay. And
Because it
and
wasn't a positive situation, but how can we start looking something positive of this situation?
so what does that look like? A person is grieving, right? You're grieving. Also at the same time, you're an abuela, right? You're a grandmother,
Yes.
holding stuff together. And then also at the same time, uh, there's a new foundation that you're creating, right? So what does that look like in terms of you're moving through very quickly through the stages of grief. You're finding a lot of different ways, spirituality. I don't know if you went to like counseling or therapy, that's something that I went through. And then also at the same time, you're wanting to create something on behalf of Louise, right? And so what started happening when you're like, okay, we're going to do something, we're going to act on this. It's not going to be in vain. We're going to create something amazing around it, you know?
Yeah. So I started getting involved in the community here in Santa Ana and start participating in a lot of community events, right?
Okay. Like what?
I had acquired kind of experience on that,
Okay.
and that being around community helped me a lot to kind of not being only stuck at home and just
You
crying.
got out of the house.
Yes, to get out
Got
of the
it.
house.
Got it.
But at the same time, it was like something was missing. Like it was, even though I love it, and I learned a lot, but there's something missing. How can we now this experience, can we take it to help others, or make a difference with others? And that's where I am right now, trying to merge my experience with this event, tragic event, with the experience that I acquired while I was volunteering for the community.
Completely. I can completely see that. And I'm sure that this has been duplicated, where there's other families who are completely dumbfounded, sad, shocked about losing their child, right? Yeah. And so what does that look like, Vero? Like, I mean, my chest is tightening up because, oh God, my goosebumps are coming out right now, because like it's hard to imagine you doing it, and then now people coming to you, they're going through that. I mean, I can only think how empathetic you are of that kind of situation, right?
Yes, I think it's very difficult to hold the space for someone that is going through that situation. So I had taken some training to be able to do that. However, I still feel like, okay, I need more training, or you still question yourself if you are trained enough. On the same token, is like, okay, we have these services, and I know there's other organizations having these services. However, it's like our community are not used to request
support.
Got it.
It's something you don't talk about. It's something, okay.
Yes. Like you go through by yourself, or I mean, it's something in our culture that you don't, whether you don't know is there, or you're not allowing yourself to be supported, So the challenge is that I have found right now is able to really connect with these families, and let them know that we're here, and we have the best intention, and that even though we're not perfect and we don't know everything, that we could provide some type of support with the experience that we have.
I got it.
Yes.
What has been like one of the most fulfilling things, or one of the greatest interactions or discussions or connections or breakthroughs that you've seen people have as a result of the foundation? Is there like one particular thing that's coming up and it's just like, oh, it's so worth it to create this foundation right now?
Yes, to being able to see people that they're not alone, that there's someone there that could provide you maybe just the ear or a shoulder, because sometimes that's all we need. We just need, someone is willing to listen to you.
Sure. Got it.
Able to connect in grief.
Got it.
Yes.
I totally got it. And I'm thinking about, actually, I was talking to my mom about this when we lost my cousin. And I was like, I barely remember what was going on. Like, was Dad crying? And she was like, oh, yeah, Dad was crying, but he had to hold it together. And I was like, shouldn't that be something where you don't hold it together? Like, you let go of it and stuff. You know what I mean? And I can definitely see something like that coming up. And as you're talking about the foundation and what you're doing and the people you're supporting, it feels like there's a major part of it that focuses on healing, right?
Yes.
And from the situation with Louise to where you are now, and the fact that you and I are both at Landmark, right? What does healing look like for you?
Yes, like, I guess just being able to accept that person physically is no longer here, and being able to, when this happened, like, I have a bunch of questions, right? You go through phases, like, hey, but the ones that I remember is like even talking to him, even though he's not here.
Hey, are you picking up what I'm throwing down here? Are you digging the Joy Revolution podcast? If so, I invite you to subscribe on this platform. Now, if you want more, I have an online community called The Underground. It's free to sign up. In there, you'll find mini courses inspired by podcasts like this one. You get to connect with other community members. I'm in there. The link's in the description. Let's get back to the episode. Yeah.
Like, what the hell would you think? You have 3 kids right now, and then you just decide to, be in a difficult situation or whatever, So just, I guess, come through to acceptance,
Yeah.
like non-denial. But talking about spirituality, I think that sometimes it is just like you go through the steps that you need to go. At the same time, some friends from Mexico came back to my life and invite me to visit
In
back in
Mexico.
Mexico. And
Yeah.
the places that we went through in nature and then in churches, and you come to complete,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
come to terms to and accept your situation. So I think it's a lot of factors that play so
I
you could move
definitely see
forward.
that.
Yeah.
And acceptance is a big one.
Yes.
You lost Luis to homicide,
Yes.
correct?
Correct.
Is there, how do you say this? Is there ever a time, or has there ever been a time, if you haven't or have, where you have forgiven the folks who did this?
Do you know that's a good question?
That's why this is the #1 show on the internet. I'm
Yes,
just kidding.
yes.
Just kidding, Vero.
When you said earlier to that, I think your dad says to hold it together, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if it's because the education that we've been through, but to me, it just happened almost immediately. Like when I first found out,
Oh my God.
something just came to me, and it says you need to hold it together. Like in order for you to, like it was within seconds. Like in order for you to hold it together, you need to forgive these people, or otherwise
Yo.
your life is gonna be hell. And I didn't know what happened. I didn't know why it happened. I didn't know who. I didn't know
Okay.
nothing. But I just within seconds I made that decision that I
Okay.
needed to forgive. And it was just I don't know, self-awareness, consciousness, I don't know. But it just happened almost immediately.
Oh my
And
gosh.
even that. But
Even while you were grieving,
like
you had to
just
hold your shit
minutes
together.
after I got the news. But the other thing that I think that was very important was a couple weeks before this happened, I had the most beautiful conversation with my son, where he told me everything he needed to tell me, and I told him everything that I needed to tell me, and like we were complete, like there was nothing left. And
Oh
this
my
was
gosh.
just thanks to education, doing a homework from one of our seminars.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yes.
amazing.
So I think that brought me a lot of peace.
Oh my gosh.
A lot
Yeah.
of peace, and it was just a very important stone.
Yeah,
to help me
it
move.
it sounds like it. You get to hold on to something for the rest of your life and be able to be accepting and able to forgive others, and then knowing that you had a very authentic moment with Luis, right?
Yes,
And it almost comes together. And it's like, this is what I'm hearing is if I'm gonna lose him, at least I got this with him,
yes,
right?
just that conversation. Like I couldn't ask for more. After
Yeah,
that
it's
conversation,
amazing.
like he opened up to me and told me whatever he was going through and what was he experiencing. That he was very happy with having his younger baby and the girlfriend. I mean, it wasn't a long conversation, but it was
Yeah.
just whatever it needed.
It happened at the.
Yes.
Yeah, I think about certain things, and my dad had crazy dementia. I'm just thinking about the timing of things. And right before he got wild dementia and was losing a lot of things, he pulled me aside and, he's like, "Do you want to get pizza?" He said, "Pizza, pizza." And on the way over, he told me his views on life. He's like, "Son, if you just make sure you just don't lie and you don't steal, you'll be fine." I was like, "Yo, Dad, that's amazing," and he was just talking about what it was like to grow up in the Philippines and stuff. And I got to see Pacifico, my dad, I got to know him as the man Pacifico. And I just thought that it was incredible. And I feel very much spiritual that I was delivered that message from him so I could hold on to it.
Right. Yes.
What about his kids? Do they ask you, Grandma, about his, their papi? Like, because they're at least 5 years older now, right? 8 years
Yeah.
older now.
Youngest is 11. Yeah. the
Oh, okay.
youngest is 11. And when we have conversations, he said, Grandma, I really don't remember him. But I remember him from the pictures that we have around,
Yeah. Yeah.
But sometimes when he makes certain gestures or he says something,
Is it like what? Is it like
Yes,
what your
like-
son?
yes, like where you getting that from? You never talk to your dad, but he is bringing it forward. And so
So you see
Incredible
your
how,
son through
yes, he
his
passes
kids.
through. Yes,
Yeah. What about the oldest one?
The oldest one is 12, and the two oldest one live with their mom, and
Okay.
we have the youngest one. So they too, they said we really don't remember how it was, but they speak about it very, very little. When I
Okay.
see them, I constantly ask them, "Do you have any questions for
Okay.
me about your dad or
Yeah.
about anything?"
You send those
No,
kids to Landmark Kids Forum.
yes,
You are
yes,
amazing.
I will.
That's
Yes,
amazing,
it
Vero.
will. Three of them.
Yeah, yeah. We talked about Landmark, right? And your experiences. How have they strengthened, shaped, alchemized you as a leader or an advocate or just as a human, right? These are
Right,
situations you never expect will happen.
right.
And if you're telling me that you're pulling meaning from it, you're staying firm with Landmark, how has that completely changed who you are?
Gosh, yes. Just to use the tools that we learn and that I also have learned in other similar educational platforms, uh, to always be aware where we're standing, where
Yeah,
I am, and realize how much I have grown to be on this particular moment,
yeah,
as a human,
yeah,
and how much more I'm willing to move forward,
yeah.
and keep growing, or am I comfortable here enough to just stay here?
Completely,
Yes,
completely, completely.
or are we moving more forward?
And I could see people going through a similar situation in which they're stuck. They're just, look what happened to me. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you're telling me
Right.
something along the lines of you take what you got, you create some sort of meaning and value from it, and then you
Yes.
grow as a person, right?
Yes.
And I'm sure that you've had more shitty days, right? Since losing Louise, right? But
Yes.
also at the same time, what keeps you going through your hardest days?
And those days keep coming very often, and it is just like, okay.
Well, that's because you're in TMLP. That's why we have shitty days.
Yes, I found myself being stuck for a long time prior
Okay.
to joining back to Landmark,
Okay.
even though I was doing other things. Had this notion that something was missing and I wanted to do something with this situation, right?
Yeah.
Of losing my son. But it was just here. And I just
Mm-hmm.
didn't know how to put all this together and
Yeah.
like make it happen. Like
Yeah.
really realizing. I said, okay, I think it's time to not just go back to training in Landmark, but put a structure. So I said,
Mm.
okay, I know where. So that's when I joined back to our team and leadership program,
Mm-hmm.
because I knew there was some structure that I needed to put, and development as leader in being able to put team together.
Yeah.
And it's now just, okay, this didn't work. Now what else could I
Completely. Completely. There's a
put
resilience
in
to it.
and make it work? And if that doesn't work, what else I could do,
Okay. Yeah.
to
It
make it work?
it sounds like your motivation is just through the roof, and it's just like, how can I take those motivations, create opportunities, and take actions on those
Yes.
things? And I can't help but think that when you're bringing in your leaders together, that there's just days where it's like, can you just answer the fucking phone? Like, can't
Or a
you just
message.
exactly,
Text
right?
message.
Come on, this is a communication program. But it also sounds like it's worth it, right? Yeah.
Yes, but let me tell you, there's days too, like when I said earlier, when community doesn't come in and realize that they don't need to walk by themselves, I question myself. Okay, here we are, and I felt that I had dragged myself through the process and
Yeah.
looking for what's gonna work for me, and
Completely.
what might work for me might not work for other people. But I have this here, and people don't come. People don't look. And then I said, is it even worth it when people don't try to pull themselves up again, And
Completely.
they're not looking for something that is going to help them.
Completely. Completely.
Yeah.
And with all of those things, talk to me about the ripple effect that has happened as a direct result of starting this foundation, and then how it's like gone out and touched other people. What has that ripple effect looked like?
Just this weekend, we went to an event where we were able to share, in that event. And it is like grinding, like you had to keep going and sharing and sharing. And
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, we have another event for November 1st, which is Day of the Dead, in which we celebrate in Mexico. And
Absolutely.
it's a bigger event. We're planning to have a booth in there so we could kind of like what happens in Landmark. Like you touch someone and you don't know what's gonna happen when they touch someone else.
Completely.
Reach reach so many people. And right now we're like on the first phase in, and what we're looking for is actually finding those families that really are committed to themselves so they could reach out and take on their responsibility.
Yeah.
Each person, that there are tools out there that they could use to move forward to life,
I completely hear that, for someone who's listening to this show right now and grieving the loss of a loved one by homicide, what is one small insight, a small practice, or a small message that you want to send to that person who's listening right now?
Yes. What worked for me, like was the foundation for me, is just get closer to whatever you call God. Wherever your spirituality is. For me, is Christianity, right? And just like there's nothing else. Like that's where you hold on to when those difficult times come. And there's other things, but the fundamental thing that I think that moved me through those super difficult times was just being in touch with God. Yeah.
Okay. So, Vero, do you believe in life after death?
Yes, I think, yes, there's life after death. And I think we all come together at one point. And we go back home. And yeah, I just can't wait to see who's waiting out there.
Right?
Go back home. Yeah,
right?
so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you ever talk to him? Like,
I
know that you're
just
watching
came present that most of the time when I talk to him, it was like like that the responsibility you left, and
You
you
suck
bail
up,
out on us. Yes.
belter
But
slipper.
yes. Just recent, I just realized, I don't know how we feel that when in those moments when you realize you're not gonna make it, just leaving behind that those feelings that you might be going through on that in that moment. So I came to realize that is okay. Whatever conversation you feel that you need to have,
Yeah.
and it's okay. Yeah. And
That's-
also writing. I was able to write a letter, which I wasn't able to do that before.
Oh, wow. You can do completion with writing a letter. That's correct, right? I love that you've come on the show, and I know that you're going to come on it again, unless you thought this was not the number one show on the podcast streams. It is the number one show, right?
Yes.
There's a reason why what I do is called the Joy Revolution, right? And number one, a joy revolution can be the internal, like I'm sure you may have felt it, where your heart is just overflowing with joy and happiness,
Yes,
right? That's
I
that internal feeling, right? Or you get those goosebumps and stuff, right? The other thing that a joy revolution can be is that you can take joy and use it to create a foundation, to change lives, to really be a leadership tool to create transformation, right?
Yes.
So, Vero, what is your joy revolution?
I through this foundation, what I would love to see is that people are able to walk through their process, but when they are ready in certain stage on their process, that they could say, "Oh wow, I could do this
Yup.
too." Like they could be a stand, or there could be a space for others to come now to them
Completely.
and be able to them to supporting others. I think eventually what might be another project inside this foundation is how can us as a community, or better yet, where do as community we lost ourselves that now
yeah.
are having these confrontations, or having, as on Hispanic or on Filipino, we harming each other. And how can we stop that as community?
Oh my gosh, that is
Where
a
we
total
lost
joy
ourselves
revolution. Completely.
as community, like we brothers.
Yeah.
Why am I, instead of trying to give you a hand, harming each other?
Completely.
Yeah.
Completely. I love that question, and I'm going to have you back on to answer that question. So I want to give everyone the heads
Hello,
up.
research.
Right? Yes, completely. Right, right on. So you will be coming back. It's LouiseJustinFoundation.org,
Yes.
LouiseJustinFoundation.org. I'm going to put it in the show notes, y'all. And so this has just been a very, very special conversation, Veronica. And thank you for holding your shit together for so long. Thank you for creating all the stuff that you've created. Thank you for being nervous to come on this podcast. I told you
No,
there was no
thank
reason to be
you.
nervous, right?
Yes. No, thank you, because I want the audience to know that we've been planning
We have. Yeah.
for a long time, and we just finally, coordinate
It
time.
was the perfect time. It's the perfect
Yes.
time. All right, y'all. Everything, the contact information is there in the show notes. Vero, you're going to be coming back, and I can't wait to have you back.
No, thank you so much.
Yes. So, on behalf of Vero, the LouiseJustinFoundation.org, I'm Mark, Joy Revolution Podcast. So, for your sake, for my sake, for our sake, for goodness sake, start your revolution. Start it in love, in light, in shadows, and in joy, baby. Bye.
Ciao.
All right, this wraps up another episode of the Joy Revolution Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. And since you made it this far, go ahead and hit subscribe. Now, if you want to hear more podcasts, or if you're ready to engage with a community who will support and challenge you, if you're ready to start your own Joy Revolution, head on over to my online community, The Underground. The link is in the description. It's free to sign up. I've got a bunch of resources in there, including my own Joy Revolution course. So until next time, I'm Mark Cordone Creative. Dig deep, and I'll see you in the underground.